I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors of Brevard on behalf of our president and founder, Joe Steckler, our information specialist, Kim Bernard. Welcome to Helping Seniors Updates. Today is the 27th of July, 2021. Can you imagine that we're already almost to the 1st of August? And one of the things that we wanted to share today, and this is important, is a press release actually from the Brevard County Emergency Management team at the Brevard County Center there in Viera. And they're telling us that in the past week, they're finding a real uptick in this COVID testing to the fact that they're getting a over 20% positivity rate. And so they are really, really encouraging and asking people to be sure that you understand it's easy, safe, and no cost to get vaccinated. Because the other challenge is that they're seeing people show up in hospitals and they're saying that the vast majority of those folks are between the ages of 20 and 40, and they are unvaccinated. And so that's one of the reasons why today I asked Dr. Kevin Kilday, who is the owner and operator of Holistic Health Center here in the Space Coast area, and also a longtime friend of the Helping Seniors organization. You've really studied this, Dr. Kevin. How are you today, by the way?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and you've got an article, Helping Seniors of Brevard. We're now in our 10th year of service to the community, but we always publish in the center of the Senior Scene magazine. We kind of call it the Yellow Pages. It's information that helps you develop your own aging plan. And Dr. Kevin Kilday, you put together an article that you're really been studying a lot about this thing. We've talked about it on the radio before, but you call it long COVID. And these are some of the after effects that if you've been through COVID that just seem to stay with you. So your article is coming out in the August edition. I'd like you to kind of like just hit some high points, but wow, the place I start with is that it really seems like it's another reason to make sure you're vaccinated, right?
Exactly. I truly believe that the vaccinations are the answer to us putting the brakes on this pandemic. Um, Regardless of all the things being said about the vaccines, I as a medical practitioner, I just believe that the vaccines are the way to go. Because like I said, I mean, we got this variant out there, this Delta variant, that's it's more contagious than the original COVID, and I mean, some of the statistics are, are mind-boggling. I mean, they said that between Florida, Texas, and Missouri account for 40% of the new cases.
Wow.
So Florida is really, on the map of, that they're keeping an eye on because there's so many people, coming down with this, this new variant COVID.
Yeah, and what it does seem, I sit on a group called the Brevard Commission on Aging, and some of the members who are directly involved in the medical field were explaining that, again, when you have the vaccination, you could potentially come up with COVID, but that the symptoms are generally, it's what you're protected against. So you may have a little discomfort, but nothing that's going to be serious or life-threatening. And what they're talking about is, again, the people who are finding themselves in the hospital are the ones who never bothered to get involved with the vaccine in the first place. And worse yet, once you've got it, Dr. Kevin, asking for the vaccine doesn't help at that point.
Exactly. This new variant is just is very tough. It's more contagious and more powerful than the original one. And but the ones that are not vaccinated are the ones that are most susceptible to it.
Right.
I mean, as you said, the hospitals are filling up with people who are not vaccinated, and the age group always used to be 50 and above, go get vaccinated, but now the range is from 20 to 40 years old, right? That they're saying that are filling up the hospital beds.
Yeah, and when we did radio the past week, we were looking around the studio. I think there was 5 of us in the between the control booth and actually in the broadcast booth. And we were talking about it, everybody there has now had their vaccinations for months and months because seniors really did heed the call and were the, kind of the first lines to run out and make sure that they got vaccinated. And that's actually serving well in this. But you deal with a thing called long COVID, and you're finding in your practice, we were talking about this before we started the broadcast, was the fact that you're actually finding yourself engaged with people, helping them to work through some of these after effects, right?
Right. There's this syndrome called long COVID, and what it is up to 30% of the people who have had COVID are experiencing long-term effects. Now, we're talking long-term because even the ones who had COVID on the original outbreak last March and April, over a year ago, are still suffering from some after effects, and these include chronic fatigue, a lot of aches and pains, arthritic symptoms, a chronic cough, shortness of breath, brain fog. But it's really just like chronic fatigue symptoms, fibromyalgia symptoms, and cognitive, mental impairment type symptoms are the most common. So so I've been helping people with those complaints because there are some supplements out there that that help with them, because the medical industry are calling it a medical phenomenon that they really don't know. The number one, I mean, there's a lot of research ongoing right now at a rapid pace because they don't have an answer. I mean, they're going to their doctors, and their doctors are, I mean, some doctors are saying, well, I ran all these tests and everything is coming up negative. I think some of this might be, they actually have the nerve to say this, that some of it might be mental. Doctors have said that to their patients, but it's not. I mean, all because it's not showing up, and all these ones that are going for retesting of COVID are coming up negative.
Wow.
So
So
it's
it's
a real
interesting.
problem. It's called long COVID. If anybody just Googles, long COVID, you'll see there's a lot of things on there. And actually now, a lot of the hospital systems throughout the country are setting up long COVID departments. That's how serious it is.
Wow. Well, and so I was going to say we just don't have so much time to go into it, but I want to make sure that before we close out today, people know how to get in touch with you. We're talking with Dr. Kevin Kilday, who is longtime holistic health practitioner and owner of Holistic Health Center here in the Space Coast area. And I know a couple of things. I know that you have a very informative website called holistichealthcenter.us. But if people want to give a call to you, maybe ask about, hey, I went through this COVID thing, I'm still not feeling right. What are some of the things you might recommend? Then they could get an appointment.
And if I may, real quick, just say, there's always prevention too. If you haven't got around to getting your vaccine, or if you still have an issue with it, at least build up your immune system.
Yes.
Take extra vitamin C, take extra D, take extra zinc, and take a good quality multivitamin. So if you just do those four things, that can really, build. I mean, there's no guarantees, but those four things that, from the research I've done, are the most effective in at times in preventing COVID.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom on that. If people want to get in touch with you, maybe talk about making an appointment or getting a little bit more specific information, what's the best number to reach you at?
Yeah, it's 321-549-0711. That's
Okay.
321-549-0711. And
Yeah.
by appointment only, I use the 1900 building in Melbourne, which is right on US 1 and 192.
Good. Well, thank you, Dr. Kevin, for joining us. And real quickly, before we close out, wanted to remind everybody about the Helping Seniors Car Raffle fundraiser. We're in full swing. The grand drawing date is October 9th. You have to be in it to win it. One ticket is $25, five tickets for a $100 donation. Each ticket is admit one to the big event that happens that night, Saturday, October 9th at the American Muscle Car Museum.
That's a great
Oh,
museum.
it is so much fun. And this is the part that I love to share. So this Saturday, you're going to be looking for us on Facebook because we're going to do a mini world tour of the dealerships that are behind each of these cars. So they're all AJ Hires, Boniface Hires car dealerships, but we're going to stop by. We're going to check out that Mazda. We're going to stop by the Kia store and check out that Kia Sportage. We're going to pop in, look at that Dodge Challenger, and even make our way over to the Chevrolet store, which, as you know, is the home of the Chevrolet Camaro. And somebody gets to pick which of those four cars they want to take if they're the winner on October 9th. It might as well be you. So get your tickets today. The way you do that, helpingsseniorscarraffle.com, helpingsseniorscarraffle.com. If you're more comfortable picking up the phone, you can call 321-473-7770, 321-473-7770. Or you can pick them up from any of the dealerships. Dr. Kevin Kilday, I think you've got tickets as well.
Yes, I have some tickets. Yes.
Good. So let's close with giving your phone number one more time for reaching Dr. Kevin Kilday at the Holistic Health Center.
Yes, 321-549-0711. And the website's holistichealthcenter.us.
Yes. Well, thank you, Dr. Kevin Kilday, for sharing this information about COVID, long COVID, and the challenges that represents. Make sure you get vaccinated and look for Dr. Kevin Kilday's article in your copy of the August Senior Scene magazine in the Helping Seniors news section. Until next time, on behalf of Joe Steckler, our president and founder, Kim Bernard, we'll see you later this week on Helping Seniors Updates.
Thank you.